Welcome to today's Daily Thought. We're thinking of the Lord's Prayer this week, and yesterday we thought of how in Luke's Gospel this prayer was prompted by a request from Jesus' disciples when they asked him, "Lord, teach us to pray." And that's a great place to start in our own prayer lives, the acknowledgement that we have much to learn about prayer, that we need to be taught how to do this, the desire to learn, and the recognition that Jesus is the master teacher. That it's to him that we turn for lessons in prayer. And in response, Jesus gives his disciples this now famous prayer: "Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we also have forgiven our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one." And Jesus gave this prayer not as some magic formula that can just simply be recited, but he gave it as a pattern to help shape our own prayers, a structure that we can build upon. And there certainly is a very deliberate structure to this prayer that I want to just draw your attention to today. Have a close look at the prayer and you'll see that it falls into two very distinct sections. The first section of the prayer is concerned with the interests and the concerns of God. The second section then turns to our own needs. Section 1 is all about God, your name, your kingdom, your will. And section 2 is about us. Give us, forgive us, deliver us. And right away, that ought to tell us something. That first and foremost, prayer is the opportunity to express our desire for the glory of God, to cry out for the exaltation of his name, the extension of his kingdom, the fulfillment of his will. And only then are we to turn to our own needs. So right there on the surface of this model prayer, Jesus is pointing us away from our own needs, pointing us away from our natural tendency to think about ourselves and to instead focus, as he says elsewhere, to seek first the kingdom of God. And if I were to analyse so many of my prayers, they would not be shaped like that. We tend to think that prayer is a way of getting things from God. We bring a shopping list of things that we'd like him to do. Give this, do that, heal him, help her, bless here, intervene there. And the prayer that Jesus left us teaches us a different way. He says that before you get onto those things, focus first on God. Let your priority in prayer be about his glory and his honour. Start by being God-centred. May your name be hallowed. May your kingdom come. May your will be done on this earth as it is in heaven. What might that look like? What would it look like to see God's name hallowed throughout our society? How different would our country be if God's kingdom was to dramatically come? Can you imagine the change there would be if God's will was done on this earth? That's what we're to pray for. And so, Lord, teach us to pray, we ask. Well, here's lesson 1. Before you give God a list of things that you want and need, first spend some time praying for things that will be to the increase of his glory and his honour on this earth. Amen.